Yalla, infidels here, live, free. Ben Hamin YouTube channel, where we're expressing with our full capabilities, but now we're living in digital correctional facilities because some don't agree how we do this. I got to get straight, Stevie, meditate like a Buddhist. But we'll see how well we can keep down the rage today as we go through the final headlines of the weekend. No pay-per-view, so you got it off, infidels. It's March Madness. It's the madman himself, Hacker Hamin, and the man who cools him down, Big Steve Areno, here on your Friday Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Thursday taping of The Locker Room at hackerhamin.podbean.com. YOLO! Stevie, we're getting through it, man. Last night I needed it, and I appreciate you guys having some good laughs, dude, because, it's just the frustration of is hard being a businessman.
Yeah.
There's another roadblock in the way, man, but I got you and the Horsemen and the Hamin Media Group to keep me elevated and grounded, so I'm very thankful, man, for all that last night. Hopefully you're doing well this morning, bud.
Well, you can always pick up the Sony DSLR business model of just making somehow $1,000 DSLR look worse than a webcam and not be able to focus.
Shout out to Logitech, $40 job at Walmart. How you doing? But yeah, we're doing all right this morning, dude. Got a little rest. The wives are a little under the weather after coming back from Kentucky and the pollen change, and it's pretty nice here in New York actually as the snow melts away pretty gradually, so we're not having the big floods that some people get, thankfully, so they're not having to come out of pocket on their stimulus check and pay for some ridiculous shit. However, we are, whether it's gas prices or taxes that they're coming for next, or holding grounds on the border to just, give people that full 5-star American experience of being catered to. And don't worry about it. You're here now. Everything's going to be handed to you. I mean, just like they handed it to you and us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the boys are mad that they have to like triple and quadruple up in a Motel 6, but the immigrants are getting $86 million, which equates to $385 a night for a hotel room.
Yeah, it's, I was thinking about going down there and rescheduling my vacation for that all-inclusive experience.
A hard thing to do. See, this is where you have to think. You and I probably seem to lean way more conservative with the way we just call out a lot of the liberals are just a lot stupider in a lot of ways than the conservatives in hiding their corruption. But we are generally charitable people. Like, you could consider us to be liberals. I hate labels no matter what, but what I'm saying is that we want to help people. We want to try to help people as much as possible. And there can be policies to help people, but at the same time, don't cry like AOC did at an empty parking lot. And now when there's actual shit going on, she's too busy doing Instagram lives explaining why they can't force to vote on Medicare for all or force to vote on $15 an hour minimum wage. She's explaining the hell out of that as people are sleeping in space blankets, literally in cages, the same cages that they say Trump was doing, but now it's temporary facilities. And I'm not saying, like I said, there's no, what's I'm saying? We have no preference, or we don't discriminate against either one of them. They're both filled with scumbags that are stealing our money each and every day and stealing our freedoms and our privacy and now our gun rights and trying to veil it in the fact that they're trying to protect us from our stupid selves because we're too dumb.
Yeah, I saw a couple people jumped on yesterday, and usually, and I shouldn't have sold for it because I like this guy, or I did as a coach and a performer. I do like him. Brad Morris, I doubt he even remember me, and a great improviser from Chicago who packed up the family, moved to LA to try and jump on my buddies are all getting signing on shows. It's surely going to happen for me, and I could name you 30 Chicago improvisers who fit that mold and are still trying to and then on his own Twitter yesterday, can somebody please explain to me why, if you're not military, that you would actually need an AR-15? These little cute open-ended questions. Meanwhile, he doesn't know fuck all about guns, he just sees something that looks like an M16 assault rifle, even though an AR-15 is like any other semi-automatic rifle. I go, I don't need one because I think the 223 round that it shoots is too light. I use 308. Here's the difference. And a 308 is a way better round than a 223 in my opinion. But the fact is he doesn't even understand that if you're getting shot in a supermarket at close range, you would want to get shot with an AR-15 as opposed to a 12 gauge that will punch a hole size of a silver dollar through you, where a high velocity round at close range will rip through you, not mushroom and keep on going. So, you know, more gun control talk from actors. That's what we need. People who've never pulled the trigger, who don't even understand the caliber of a bullet, but because they see something that looks like the movies, that they would definitely take a contract and star in. If I said, hey, Brad, here's $20 million for you to play alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, where in the last scene where you're the computer nerd the whole time, you got to pick up the AR-15 and shoot the bad guys and save Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nobody thought it'd be you. And you're perpetuating AR-15 violence. You can fucking bet $1 on your dick that he would fucking jump at that contract to fucking go against it, bro. It's that level of lunacy and hypocrisy for clout chasing, fame chasing from people I came up with who packed it all up and moved. And I talked about this. We didn't talk about it last night. I laid off the Thomas Middleditch, cancel culture of him being outed as open marriage and then divorced and then being in goth clubs, assaulting women where he wanted to have group sex, and just more sexual dysfunction that's exposed in the media now that he's, a millionaire off of HBO's Silicon Valley, and he gets parts in any movie he wants, and he's the new Verizon talk guy. I mean, we all lived in the same one-bedroom apartments on the same block, shitty eating ramen noodles for years, but now that he's over, they all were like, I can get over too. And now they just sit there on Twitter and try and toe the line and no response. But I did see, and I'm not here to smash on my former mentors, but I don't really look at them as mentors or even equals at this point because of how far they've slipped in the realm of logical thought.
And this is a guy too, that this is the other part of it. Now, this guy got caught in some way, shape, or form after he, I'm sure, virtue signaled about the cancel culture and wanting to be part of it to get other people out of the business, right? This is my guess. I don't know if he truly did that or if he's
it's just so, hey, comedies. My friends work at Comedy Central and the Amber Ruffin show on Peacock. John Lutz works on that, and he's a super funny, pasty white guy like me. So now all black and free thought through Amber Ruffin, who's a brilliant comedian and improviser as well. I'm not taking anything away from her. They're trying to get those gigs, so they toe the line in public, thinking that when they go for the audition with the casting director where everybody knows each other, well, he's woke and this is the type of people we need in new media, so we're going to hire him too. I got a shout out here. Already we're 32 strong in the chat room. That's awesome. But Frank's Pickle Barrel asks, and this could just be ignorance, and I'm not trying to slam on you, Frank. What are AR-15s for, Ben? No one hunts with them outside hogs. Can you hunt animals with an AR-15? You can hunt animals with anything. It's a 223 round. People put this AR-15 because it sounds like M16, which was the preferred weapon for the military for the last 40 years. Now it's M4s and things like that, which is a miniaturized version of a fully automatic weapon. But because it looks like an assault rifle or a fully automatic rifle, which it's not, it's a 223 that looks technically scary because it's a black gun ported out and you can put all the extra shit on there on the Picatinny rails. People lose their fucking mind and don't think that in a false flag, they're not arming people like the Aurora shooter and, things along those lines. Even when it was Sandy Hook, they were right out of the gate, AR, and it's not. And because you can get lower thirds for it that are unstamped and make your own, or you just buy the lower third and then you can buy all the other pieces individually and make your own if you're enough of a gunsmith, which most aren't, to do that. Like it's some big illegal thing, man. Ghost guns are the way of now and the future with 3D printers and whatnot. So it's not just that an AR-15 can kill a hog. Anything can kill a hog. Dude, I could put a 22 through its eye, Mo Green style. And that's like, it's the caliber of bullets. So I hunt deer with a 308, and most deer are about 130 to 160 pounds around here. So if you're likening that to a human, that's got the knockdown power to put you right over. A 223 is the round that is shot out of an AR-15. And can it kill a deer? Sure. Absolutely. It's about the hunter and the person using the gun and the willingness to take life. So it doesn't matter the gun. An AR-15 doesn't drive somebody going, oh, I have the power in my hands now. It's the same as fucking loading up your old man's Mossberg 500 or Remington 870. It's not even close to it. So for me, my preferred caliber is a 308, which is pretty much double the bullet and casing size of a 223 that comes out of an AR-15. And people see a 15-round clip. Who gives a shit? If someone's going on a shooting spree and you've only got a Walmart 308 that holds 6 and 1 in the chamber, it takes you 2 seconds to pop the clip out and throw another one in. So it's all fucking Hollywood bullshit. They don't understand it. I'm not trying to say, Frank, you're dumb for not understanding it, but that's the propaganda. They use it to hunt hogs. No, you can hunt whatever you want with it if you're a hunter. And I don't need to make hunting excuses. If I want a military-looking tactical grade weapon to protect my home and I never hunt deer or have to justify it, I don't have to justify fuck all to anyone. So really, for me, an AR-15 is not the best weapon. If I want to lay somebody down, they're going to get touched with a 308 from 200 yards away with 3.5-inch drop. So then to take fucking more gun advice from actors who've never touched a gun, who've never even taken a hunter's training safety course, who've never even been at the range to know what the safety is or even how to load and cock a Glock, you just make yourself look like an asshole. And I'm not going to sit here anymore from people who were once my mentors and take this fucking backhanded chastising with open-ended questions, because they're going to get real answers that then they're not going to sell for, or they're going to block me. And at the end of the day, I know who's right in this argument. I know who's educated and I know who's not.
I want to kind of unpack that. I want to give a few examples, especially when the pandemic hit. And I think I've told this story. I have told this story before about waiting in line for almost 6 hours for our first firearm, which was a Glock 19 Gen 5. This is the thing. I think they're not as stupid as we think they are, talking about the people that are trying to do gun control or even take guns. I think what they're doing is the AR-15 is like a soft ban. But then when you say, but the 223 or the 308 and the 20 gauge and the 12 gauge and this and that are more dangerous. Oh, thanks for smarting us up. We should really, since we did it to this and it's not even dangerous, this is way more dangerous. I do believe we always discount them for being dumb, but I think there really is a method in somebody's madness to have these useful idiots like AOC and Joe Biden and but the real play is, let's just see how far we can poke them and push them and do whatever. Now, as far as like when I got our first firearm, which now we have many, and you can say like, why do you have 3? Why do you have 4? Why do you have 6? Well, I was waiting in line for 5.5 hours, happily waiting to protect my family for my Glock, which the line was wrapped all the way around the gun store. And I guarantee you, because I was listening to conversations, 3/4, if not more, were people that favored gun control and banning guns. Because anybody who is like you, Ben, already has the guns and ammo they need. They're not rushing they're sitting back and watching, and they already have everything they need, right? You may buy some more ammo, but you're not in line for another gun.
What are you going to
like? You're like, dude, I got my own guns. This is fucking crazy. But the people in line, I'm listening to these people, dude. I'm keeping my mouth. And I'll tell you what, with people open carrying in this gun store, it was the most relaxed, chill, cool, friendly atmosphere that you can be, you know what I mean? Because everybody, I guess, is in check, right? Like, you're going to try shit. But let me finish with this. I'm literally behind, we call it a desperate housewife, basically from the Atlanta, Smyrna area. I'm behind this woman talking to her friend, and they're both in line for guns. And they're talking about, my God, these guns are so dangerous. I hope they do something to ban, and I hope they limit the clips here in Georgia or the magazine round. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're buying a Glock 19 Gen 5 that has a capacity of 15 rounds, and you get 3 mags. And you're talking about limiting what you're in line to buying, the classic double think, double speak of 1984, because your natural human instinct is to say, people are going nuts. They're trying to kill each other over toilet paper. I better get a gun to protect my family, which is right. That's the correct human instinct. But then your indoctrination in line as you're buying a $500, $600, $700 firearm and probably 300, 500 rounds at the time is to say, I hope they take this from me.
Yeah, it's just, the fear. Everything is fear motivated. Frank asked, you think gun companies are putting this out there to sell more? No, I don't think gun companies need to spend a dime on marketing. All they got to do is let everybody turn on the news, and that is free marketing for them. The SHOT Show in Vegas every year has increased almost 20 to 40% in the last 4 or 5 years. And it's one of the biggest shows there are in Vegas as far as anything that's being shown there. And it's just massive now, dude. So it's just the ignorance of actors. And it's laughable to me at this point because they never chopped wood, carried water. All they did was fucking chase this bullshit, and they're still trying to use social media instead of for their.
Why don't they get rid of their armed security then?
I mean, that was something that was posted earlier. I think, what's the girl who was the Christian singer? Baby, you're a firework, fucking chick. Big gimmicks.
Cyrus?
Katy Perry. Katy Perry saying the same thing about we need equality and less guns and no walls. Meanwhile, she lives behind a 19-foot wall around her mansion in a gated community. You're done. You're done talking. You're done in the conversation. You have zero credibility from what you're saying going forward. Go back and sing to handicapped kids and make fucking moments like that, because that's what your worth is.
Do your make-a-wishes. Don't let your wishes come true, because they're very dangerous. But I'd say this too, man. It's just, I talked with you before we did this, even before the pandemic, that I wanted to get a firearm. I wanted to get a home defense. I wanted to learn how to use a firearm, and I wanted to learn from people and ask people questions like you and everybody else that owns them, because I was scared of them. They did scare me because I'm so afraid of an accident. I'm so afraid of other things. I decided to go and find out more, and I'm still like, this is a skill too that's perishable. So you can dry fire every day and then take a month off, then you almost have to start over again. The gun starts to feel heavy again. The even sliding the rail starts to feel. You have to, just like working out, you have to train each and every day. And if you don't, you're not going to be proficient, and you could be more prone to these accidents they've been putting up, looking like the video game, like the kids in the room. Did you see that, where they open up the drawer and it's like Grand Theft Auto? Yep. And that's not the way it's played out, because any gun owner that has a kid who truly respects and fears the weapon and cares about it, his or her family, is going to take precautions, or say to the kid, we're going to the range and we're going to train you to respect us and be scared.
Ooh, look at that.
What's that?
I mean, that's exactly the exact word. I think I told you this. I was 10 years old. I was given my first 410 from my dad and my grandfather, and they were both stood there and said, "This is the power to take life. This is more responsibility than you're ever going to have, and you never point this at anything unless you know what you're sure that what you're shooting at, and you never pull the trigger unless you're ready to kill cleanly." And that was for hunting animals and whatnot. But that responsibility, that fear that they put in me is the exact way you just described. And that should sit with every gun owner. This is not a toy. It's a tool. It's a weapon to end life. And that is a power that is very, very scary to give to a 10 to 12-year-old. You know, and when you even shoot my first squirrel out of the trees, watch them flop around, and when I have such a terrible feeling, because I do love animals, and believe me, when I had to pull that squirrel down again, it wasn't just to kill. That went back. I fucking learned how to skin a squirrel, and we started making put it right in the stew, the meat out of the hindquarters, a tree rat. But believe me, and I thought it was cool, like, yeah, we're gonna, but that when you see an animal that you've taken and it's in pain, and then you have to put it down again, as opposed to killing clean. When I shot my fucking first 8-point with my 50 caliber black powder, which believe me, that's one shot, but I'd rather get shot with a 223 rifle than a 50 cal black powder, because that deer was just like over, kick, done, bro. It just knocked the shit out of it. But those are the moments of like the reality of the power that, you know, if you're a hunter, you're out there for whatever purpose, food wise, and for the gamesmanship of it and the sport of hunting. But when it comes to pulling it on somebody else, people don't know what comes with that either. So I'm just not taking any social cues from Hollywood people, and I'm trying not to sell for things, but I did for that yesterday. I saw some people jump on it. And now with the big gun talk of ban this executive order, I just thought it was important to touch on before we get to some shitty wrestling headlines, man. But they're falling. Christy Teigen left Twitter. This, you know, like I said, Middleditch and after Chicago wrote these huge, it's about equality on these stages, and we're tired of being looked at as black actors this way. We built these stages and signed all of these mid-card NBC, HBO properties. Improv Olympic is closed, no shows, no place for anybody to play. Second City is closed, no shows, no place for anybody to play and sharpen their swords and get better. And now they want to do it out there as well. And then the Middleditch thing, who's their top guy, and that chicken comes home to roost. And fucking no one says a goddamn word. Every improviser completely silent, just eating a big spoonful of shit for their fucking hypocrisy, dude. And it doesn't put a smile on my face. It makes me very, very sad that they had to go that far to the left to try and show Comedy Central and Saturday Night Live. Like, look, I'll tell any fucking retard line you want out of Hollywood. Please tell me my agenda, and I'll shame and make everybody feel bad to show that I'm a virtue signaler, that I'll be okay on your set to cast because I meet the new criteria that the gay mafia has set forward. Not this one, Dunny.
Well, here's what I wanted to say to finish up on that. Yep. Here's what I wanted to say about that was his co-star. This is the pattern. He's where you're at, and everybody wants to be his best friend because he's on top and he's over and he can get you a job. But then when this happens, his co-star is like, I tried to warn everybody, like trying to virtue signal double after the fact.
Sure.
Because nobody ever wants to expose that stuff as it's going on. But afterwards, to me, that always seemed like, even when I say things with wrestling that I kind of knew, I never put myself in the situation to actually really, truly witness what was going on because I didn't want to be a part of a lot of that stuff. But when she says that, isn't that sort of like a criminal accessory through the crimes before, during, and after the fact?
I would say so. Well, I mean, that they want the aha gotcha and then some quick quips. And I remember her speaking up, and I guess once the money hit, because I was on stage with Middleditch.
So she did speak up beforehand.
Right, but this was like being ahead of the curve on the Me Too movement, and she only had a 6-episode part on Silicon Valley, which I think went on for 5-6 seasons and, you know, made HBO a lot of money. So I'm sure ahead of the curve. And, you know, these are nerdy little actors, bro, who couldn't win an arm wrestling contest against an 8th grader. And now they're multi-millionaire spokesmen. And TJ Miller got whacked too. I remember when they went at him, but he's, you know, once he gets on pills, booze, and whatever else, and, you know, he's just like a lot of Chicago actors, a party animal and an addict to some degree, like every comedian is. And that's why they're all so brilliant. And I'm not trying to say they're shitty performers. They're both great performers. But once you back all that with unlimited money, clout, red carpet, and they think they're untouchable, and then they do some dumb shit on a fucking Hollywood girl who likes to dress goth and go to sex clubs to fucking do swinger shit, but also want to go, how dare you touch me while I'm in my without my permission, while using a safe word. Like, they're all just fucked. They're like their mentality and what they think they're doing compared to relating to people of any normal sense, you know, is just it's abhorrent. As someone but yeah, man,
a bunch of dorks.
Yeah, a bunch of dorks. But here they come back to have to eat the spoonful of shit with Middleditch, and they're all silent on it, bro. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stop Asian Hate, trans rights from all of these white actors whose fucking jobs are going to be taken on an affirmative action. They're like, yes, we're so woke. They took our jobs and now we all feel better together. But the reality is you just wasted 30 years of your fucking career to now only be able to cunt off on Twitter while all the work is going someplace else.
Well, here's the difference. I'm going to segue this to the TV studio or the movie studio with Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, because we'll go right into wrestling. Mm-hmm. But safe word of Sour Patch. That's if she knew that if she knew that, we'd be, all together out. We wouldn't have this situation.
Yeah, we all would.
But oh geez, what was I going to say? Jesus.
You were saying the Snyder situation.
Before that, TV.
You were going to tie it to wrestling based off the Hollywood.
Oh geez, it was something before that. Oh my God, I'm so bad.
Well, I think it's
just something with
thing, right? Of them saying, "Aha, fuck you," even though you showed us with the numbers. Like we're gonna flex on you, Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing with, and with my limited experience with what I have had in the past 6 months dealing with, what I would consider not even like, people like this. I'm still like, this is not for me. This is not for me. And it's funny because I get a little bit of blowback for saying that from my friends that are in it. Like, you're gonna really ruin your chances by saying that on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, okay. Well, I got a fitness business. I got the home gym equipment. That's why I'm saying I'm comparing to the things I'm doing, kind of like the virtual signings and other things. Hey, I can't take a connecting flight. I can't do these different things because my time is my money with my business. It's like, well, you're hard to do. You're hard to deal with. No, I really fucking make money. I'm not bluffing you with this.
Yeah.
I really have a business to run. I'm not trying to get more out of you. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can do both at the same time. Look how
blind they are, Stevie, at their own, because they're playing that game. Time vindicates us almost always, right? And we're not just
it's called the Russo effect.
Yeah, we're not just saying shit to say it. We think logically. We are businessmen. We don't have to rely on other people. We just work harder. That's what we do. But them saying that of you're too hard to work. This year at the Grammys, lowest rating ever. This year Academy Awards, lowest rating ever. This year Super Bowl, lowest rating ever. This year NBA All-Star Game, lowest rating ever. They don't see the trend of where they've injected cancer into their own industry and what the fucking fallout of that is. But they keep traveling down that fucking road to oblivion. They can't stop the car, turn around and go, you know what? We need to make a U-turn here. We went too far. Let's go back to that medium place. Instead, they just keep pushing and fucking that, but it comes right around, punches them in the fucking eye, and then they're silent and saying, they don't say maybe I was wrong and maybe we shouldn't have done that. They double down on stupid every time.
Here's what I was going to say. This is the difference. Now you have these people that, like we talked last night on the Horseman with the Harry's Razor thing, which I have a theory that it was the company trying to just get out of the contract, which could be a real thing. That's a good business decision, I guess, to try to create a Twitter account with 2 followers, tweet yourself, then cancel the contract on a morality clause. What I'm saying is the difference is, say my product. People might say, oh, you have too many conservative views when you talk on the Locker Room and Horseman, and I'm going to make sure that I destroy every part of your business, and I'm going to spend every waking moment to do this, which you and I would just be like, okay, well, I think there's probably 75 to 125 million Americans that a demographic we can appeal to. We aren't going to spend our energy on trying to convince those people.
I invite him on the show so we can talk openly and then show you why your argument is illogical in every way. It's not
that wouldn't even matter because facts don't care about your feelings, but feelings don't care about facts either. So here's the difference, and this is the point I was going to get making. You made the great point before and reminded me with the ratings. There was a business that I was going to invest in some kind of educational stuff, and this person didn't need to post anything outside of what I wanted to see on social media or throughout their content. But they started to talk about how they not only, and this is the 1984 double speak and double posting, I guess. They're like, you know what? I really was trying to make strides on not being racist, but I didn't realize that I needed to really learn so much more about being anti-racist, and then started to talk about white privilege and how they're, you know, they're just so ashamed to be white and this and that and the other thing. And they need to really, and the thing was, I need to really try to apply this to my business model. Canceled, not canceled in their way, canceled what I purchased. Nope, I can't do it. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm signing. It's like me doing the fitness brand, and all I'm talking about are my religious views, that I believe in Christ, or I believe in God, or I'm a Christian, or which people could be like, oh, that's cool. And I do. God bless you. Have a great day. And that's almost like a rib in a way at the end, because people get mad when I say that. So I'm almost trolling at the end of my videos with it, but I mean what I say. There's a little line to cross. But getting back to the other thing, I realized, well, it doesn't matter what I believe or you believe or don't believe or anything. I'm here to help you get into shape, feel better about yourself, take you further on whatever journey you want in your life. That's what my programs and videos or my brand is trying to just help people. Anything else is extracurricular bullshit that's not needed anyway. Politics, religious views, even what kind of ice cream or food I like. It doesn't matter. Create a program, help people work out, make it affordable, support the workout. I don't know. I don't know why people lose that. And that's why the ratings are low. That's why people are losing money hand over fist. And all they keep doing is saying the customers are all wrong and we need to appeal to a smaller demographic. And that's where wrestling and the Snyder Cut kind of come in. A small group of people are controlling this, even though the audience and everybody that's either disappearing or reappearing for the Snyder Cut and wanting the Snyderverse are screaming, take our money. If you change this to what we want, we will give you money. No, we don't. No, we don't want that. No, we don't want your stupid money. We want this money. That's less.
We want power over thought. That's what they're trading it for, is mind control instead of profits. And where their mind control is going is a road to oblivion. And maybe that's also what they want. But we're about to head into oblivion here, Stevie, as we run down the headlines. I like that talk this morning. Not to, I don't want to come back and blast on my mentors who I know are and peers who I know have great minds, but their minds have been poisoned. And they've also taken their art form and weaponized it instead of doing what we were taught, to walk the middle and be the voice to punch both sides for their hypocrisy. So they get what they fucking came for. And that whole LA crew who's out there, I don't want to wish them ill, but they're not gonna get over with that shit, bro.
Do you want to wish them good health like Putin did to Biden?
Yeah, I want to wish them the best.
By the way, this is coming today. That's arriving today.
Retromania game, you guys, out now. Can't wait to see your game cabinet there, Stevie. Big shout out to Retromania, you guys. I think you can download it now and check it out. But that old school wrestling style game is back, and Big Stevie Cool, our own here at Hamin Media Group and Stevie Richards Fitness, Russo Brand on the cover. Very proud of you, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. That's an awesome thing, dude. And I'm sure you'll have a great time playing it. Somebody who's playing the game the way he wants to, Booker T. He questions why AEW signing former WWE stars. Booker was speaking on his Hall of Fame podcast where he had to question AEW bringing in plenty of WWE veterans, linking it to how WCW used to operate. Let's see. All right, pop-ups. Hopefully this loads. Oh, well, I mean, Stevie, the connection seems to be good. Spectrum update. Spectrum came over with 3 trucks, ran all new lines, replaced.
Yeah, it looked like you were getting swatted for being on Call of Duty or something.
I escaped. The wives were the ones that dealt with it, but I had to go to the airport and put a miscellaneous bag someplace. Do you think this is the right move for AEW? Right now, it seems like they're pulling a revamp of WCW as far as signing veteran talent, guys well past their better years of their careers, guys realize that perhaps the young guys can take either one or two ways, that these guys are going to help us or these guys are here to take our spot. AEW has signed that was a quote, AEW has signed several former WWE stars since its inception, including young stars like Ty Conti and Jon Moxley. Let's not call Ty Conti a WWE star. To older veterans such as Matt Hardy, Dustin Rhodes, and Sting, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Big Show, and now Christian Cage. So the list goes on and on and on and on. Stevie, you were the younger guy coming out of ECW into WCW, and they loaded that up, but you had kind of moved on to WWE before the mighty fall. What was to relive that? What was kind of like, oh, here come these guys? Even though you did get your time, and during Raven stuff, you were going to get over regardless, no matter what, as a supporting player. But what is that feeling like? And Booker's pretty spot on with it right here.
Yeah, history. Those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it, and
right.
This is definitely. It's on the same network too, so it's very. It's very weird and eerie, and almost like deja vu with that. Booker's right, and Booker has a point. The boys are always going to get their money. And that's probably, if you listen to the audio or watch the video, I'm sure Booker's kind of trying to process it through, because just like any other athlete or entertainer, you want people to get paid. So if Christian Cage can get the money, if Big Show can get the money, Moxley, Sting, all these people can get the money, But then you have to look at it like you said. How long is there going to be money to get? So I dare you just read off all these names they've signed, and I would dare say they did not sign other people to contracts when they say we signed this person, or it's an Impact like deal, in my opinion, when they sign the people off the indies or the people you never heard of or people from the Nightmare family. It's not a $100,000 a year contract minimum. I don't think so. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope everybody's.
I don't know about the students that are paying to get on the show, but I think Janela and those guys, that first crop of dudes, Nyla.
Well, because the roster was smaller too. But what happens when their deal runs out? Right.
They're not gonna. That's gonna be it. They're gonna be done because they're not gonna see the value in them. Plus, and really that is it. Sure, they might have a deal, but they don't have TV time and nobody knows about them. So why am I paying them when I have to pay Big Show $1 million? I got to give him his TV time. I got to give Christian his to get my value. And there goes your librarians. There goes Sonny Kiss. When was the last time Sonny Kiss had a match on TV? When was the last time, that Peter Avalon job to Cody or what have you? You're not going to see these C and D list indie guys that they signed to having any more TV time by 2022, I think, if there isn't even a company by then.
Yeah, there's a few ways to look at that too. Number one, I really wish that all of them had tried to maximize their brands from that day one. The Janellas, the Sonny Kisses, try to say if this does run out, because if the first WWE, the guy that got signed, I would already be like, okay, what can I do? Because I'll get over, but I got to have the backup plan, because it's up to Tony Khan or Cody or someone else's whim whether I stay or go at one point. So what do I do? What do I spend my time doing? The funny thing is, let's look at WCW and let's look at AEW. Obviously on the same network. Let's not even talk about the talent that's on top or who they're pushing or the Cody and Brandi effect, the like Triple H and Stephanie. But let's talk about the shows and the amount of people on the roster, which makes the budget, right? You had Dynamite, which was going to be an hour, and then it turned into 2. Then you have Dark, which when I told you, your eyes lit up, like 15 matches advertised for Dark. And I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of massive matches.
It shows he has no clue what he's doing in making and promoting a show. All the storylines you want, dude, no show should be over 8, maybe 9 at the most if it's a big payoff. So you should never be double digits.
Well, if you have multiple shows, you need to really adjust that too. And now we get into the thing that we pitched, the Road to the documentary series, to getting these guys over for the Dynamite or the pay-per-view show. So, and they do have a Road to, so we can count that. But let's say Dynamite, Dark, now Elevation, 3 shows. You can say Being the Elite might be a show because they're actually trying to push storylines on this YouTube show that no casual viewer watches. So 4 shows, and then you have a road 2. So you can count 5 shows if you really want to count all of them. Let's say 3 main shows with matches and stuff. All right. WCW had Nitro, which went to 3 hours. Thunder. And that was a TNT move, by the way, which was a TNT move to maybe do a second show before that guy got fired. Very interesting how they're repeating it too. I don't know, but they might overlap, but there definitely was WCW Saturday night. So 3 shows. Then every quarter when I was there, we would tape worldwide at Disney or MGM, Disney MGM. Yeah. 4 shows. Then I think you even had another show where they were trying to break off the NWO into its own entity and TV show. Then there was, I think there was another show, I have to say, with WCW, but let's just say you now have one company doing 4 to 5 shows. They're together. Now you're talking about rosters. WCW had a roster of probably 120 to 140 people, which at the time was freaking crazy compared to WWE, which was doing push the top 5 guys. And then we got mid card, maybe 15 guys are on the show. That's what you have. You're splitting it in the thirds, right? Now WWE has with NXT in the hundreds, 140, 160 contracted talents, which probably 90% wash out. AEW has the same amount, only WWE has 2 $1 billion TV deals, and they've been around for about 80 years, right? So they got a lot of.
Sorry, how did Bischoff do that while he was also owner of the Jets and Sheltingham Proper soccer team? How did he manage it all?
Well, that's the other thing with Bischoff. He was just on TV. When we go into booking the show or running the company and being on TV, something always suffers. Tony Khan, I'm telling you, man, there's a degree where Tony Khan may get bored of this because he has the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has the soccer team, at least for now. They want him off it. But he could turn around. You and I would say, holy shit, we got to see this through. We're spending $20 million a year and we got a TV deal. With him and his dad, it's just like, Dad, I'm tired. Okay, cool. It's done. You don't think that has a possibility of happening?
That easily it could happen. Absolutely.
Now, if Cody's probably the smart one, the Bucks are the smart ones. Omega's probably smart, and they have what we call no-cut deals. There might be another term for it, but hey, we're under contract. So if you got a business the first year, you got like a lot of guys at the end of WCW who didn't go to WWE at the time, like a Goldberg. I think Page went for a fraction and eventually, but Goldberg, maybe Steiner, there was a few guys that got their deals and they're like, I'm not going to give up this multi-million-dollar deal to sit at home. And you're going to make me go back on the road 5 days a week and then go overseas to prove myself. That's why Goldberg stayed at home. So, and he's smart for doing so, because guess what ended up happening? He made millions more. Because they wanted him even more after sitting out. Yep. So they would be smart to have no-cut deals. Now, I doubt that Sonny Kiss has a no-cut deal. So
no,
I would say
the vice presidents do. The vice presidents.
And they probably have a golden parachute if they're connected to TNT or whatever corporate infrastructure with that. And Cody is smart enough to know, okay, well, I'm attaching my name to this, so you don't think he could turn around and say, "Cut to Khan, my God, your biceps are getting so big. Can I have a golden parachute?" Sure.
Or do you think that Cody already knows and sees the writing on the wall? So he's one of the few who's making the most of this short run to get diversified and become mainstream.
We'll come back to reality show.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
But you were talking Omega, and I hear Omega's burnt. He don't even want to wrestle. He don't want to do nothing. I've heard from backstage he's totally checked out and fucking hates wrestling at this point. Meanwhile, he's the champ.
Which I would give him credit for, dude, because he's seen every time I was around Kenny, he really did seem like a decent dude that just seemed humble, and he didn't seem like he wanted to deal. When I met him WrestleMania weekend, and you've met him more than I have.
Just twice.
Okay, but the impression I always got from him was, throughout that day, I should say, because I was around him 2 or 3 times because I was curious. I was like, this guy was in developmental and made his name, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey man," I read up on you. I heard you were a hockey goalie." And he was so amazed, like, "Where did you get that from?" And I was like, "Well, is it true?" And he goes, "Yeah, it is true." He goes, "Holy shit, no one's ever come up to me." I said, "Well, you're around a fucking bunch of goofy wrestling fans. Who's going to bring up hockey to you?" And he laughed. But he always struck me as a humble guy that never wanted to play the political game. And I assume that's why he went to Japan, to avoid the politics. And when this started happening, there was always in the back of my head where I said, this dude's just going to check out, because I checked out, and I don't have the physical abilities or the talent as far as putting on a physical match. Psychology wise, I'm probably a lot better than him, but that doesn't matter because Kenny reinvented himself. And that sounds shitty to say that. Well, you know what I mean, though. He can always improve to become a better performer. But as far as an athletic, physical talent and what he can do, I can never touch him. And I'm sure he's just like, I got to play this bullshit all day, and I can't even enjoy the match at night that I go out and wrestle. So why do I care?
Yeah, I heard he just wants to play video games and be left alone. But after
that's familiar.
After his performance,
what's your impression of him, dude? Do you had that to tell the famous story about what like changed your mind about that guy?
Yeah, dude. I was trying to, and it was me eating shit, so I'll throw myself under the bus.
No, you're not though, but you're being truthful. You got, what I mean?
Yeah, because I was a dumbass in the way I approached it. It just same as like when I tried to do the Rip and Russo thing and it blew up in my face. Sometimes these little things that I think are cute that are going to get heat humble you because I didn't approach it the right way. And I did, but I gained a lot of respect for me because, the Bucks were 2CW and are still 2CW tag champs. But they brought Omega in at the end for a couple shows, and Omega was like, fuck, I wish I had known about this. I'd have been working here the whole time, because how awesome 2CW was. They kept telling him. And he was going back and forth to Japan with them at the time. And this is right after he wrestled the little girl and the fucking blow up doll. So it was like a rib that like Omega was there. This is like that 2014 before all this shit became normalized. That was the Carney stuff. And I was doing backstage stuff for WrestleZone right then at that time with the Bucks. And we were in this in Binghamton in whatever it is, VFW, American Legion. And in the bottom, there's a fucking time capsule. Like somebody just closed the door and locked it in 1958 bowling alley, like old school. And that's the over guys dressing room. So I would talent handle the Bucks and Omega's with them. We did some promos and I was like, what are your plans? What are you going to do? You're going to wrestle a 12-year-old girl tonight? He's like, just ribbing. He's like, nah, man, we got big plans. I'm ready to change this business and show them what it possibly can be to the next level. And, we got big plans of where we're going. And then the next 2 years, he made himself in Japan with all the Okada stuff and became a global entity, which was enough between there and PWG, where Khan's sitting in the crowd, for him to be hooked as a mark. And then Cody, the Bucks, and all them get their claws into a money mark and make their own Fed. But be careful what you wish for, because there's a lot more in the business than just getting that ovation of a 5-star Meltzer match when you got to take care of everything, direct it, write it, agent it, and then you got to go and perform and be the champ too. Usually doesn't work out that well. And it didn't work out that well this Tuesday on Impact, because Tuesday's taped Impact Wrestling episode featuring the return of AEW World Champ Kenny Omega with Eddie Edwards versus Carl Anderson in the main event, drew 116,000 on Access TV, a 0.04 rating in the key demo, 18 to 49, 146 out of the top 150. And 135 on the night in cable viewership. These numbers are down from last week post-sacrifice, which drew 146,000. Same type of rating there, dude. But you're talking about losing pretty much, what is it, 146 to 116? So 30% would be that. So you're losing about 21% of your audience in a week, where it's already at the lowest point in history. Think about this, from what, 2.8 million at one time on average to 116,000, bro.
Did the NXT move to Tuesdays?
Not yet. Nobody's moved nowhere. That was what I was going to say.
Holy God, man.
Dude, so since when our highest of 2021 was 197,000. That was right after the No Surrender episode. They've kind of been averaging out at about 140 to 160,000, but now 116,000 has to be the new all-time low in Impact history. Their first shows weren't even that low by any means. So, Stevie, I mean, if you're talking 116,000 and what it takes to cost to run Impact for a 5-day taping, I'm sure is more than $116,000. So, how much are they spending for each viewer? And I gotta say, dude, Omega and Callis's promo went on so long.
I watched him.
It was so phony. They're saying suck them off and all these weird gay fucking innuendos in it, and they're not listening to each other. Callis is stepping on Omega. Omega just kind of starts to get the flow going. Callis comes right in and bulldozes the scene. I've been in bad scenes. I've been the cause of them, and I've not been the cause of them, had to react to them. This hurt, but dude, this is on a taped, empty arena show, and that's what they went with, dude.
Yeah, they were talking like there was a crowd too. Very weird and kind of like not really able to gauge anything, like screaming over the crowd. And it was tough to watch, man. Well, here's the thing. When NXT goes to Tuesdays, are they looking at just hopefully only losing half of that 116? Are we looking at 20,000 people watching?
I think we're looking at, and I'm not kidding you, just on Twitch.
Just on Twitch. What do you mean?
Like the show will just be on Twitch.
Oh, okay. But what I mean is like that first week rating.
Right.
Are you saying is all right? Because I'm like looking at it. I'm like, could we even get it down? Could it even be in the 5 digits or 4 digits? Are we looking at under 10,000 viewers for the show when the NXT goes to Tuesdays that first week?
I think so.
And you're going to see 100,000 to 500,000 swing with the NXT on Tuesdays.
Yep. And who's gonna? It's gonna be me and Big Ray. There'll be 2 people watching. You know, like that. There's 5,000 people in their chat at max when Kenny was on, and then it dipped back to about 4,800 in watching live on Twitch, bro. And I'm thinking if they went from 2.2 million, let's call that a high water mark, to 100,000. You know, that's if it was at 1 million and went to 100,000, that means you've lost 900,000, 90% of your audience. Do that at 2 million. They've lost 95% of their audience, bro. And where's that going to go with what little slice of the pie you have left? I'm really shook. I think Impact is done, man. Their only move they have is to go to Thursdays or Saturday mornings.
Yeah, if they do a Saturday morning like they did that Southpaw kind of thing and made it a little studio show that had a very limited amount of people, that was social distanced, even if they went to a local high school or did something, man. I feel bad because you know who's going to suffer. You know who they're going to, Edward Norholm and Callis and D'Amore. They're going to move on. Probably D'Amore and AEW, definitely Callis and AEW, or they'll stay with Impact and get paid. Even the agents like Dreamer and D-Lo and people pulling double and triple duty, they're going to get rid of guys like Swinger and other people that are really actually the heart of the show.
Yeah, Callahan, Havoc, Nevaeh, Fire and Desire Girls, Deonna Purrazzo, AC Baby and Larry D, Triple XL. TJP will be marginalized. He'll probably go to AEW, but you already got Seidel and 16 others that are just like him. Rohit Raju will probably go to NXT. So will Rosemary, but dude, I see it as being done. I mean, where's Eddie Edwards going to go? You know, where's a guy like guys like that? There's not much left for those dudes on the bone. They've been every place already. So I just see it as going to be all bad for them. Because even if they go to Saturday morning, do you expect them to draw more than 100,000?
No, not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely retool the product, which means the 100,000 or less that are watching it won't watch it anymore, and you have to start from scratch with kids. That's what you're essentially looking at. Well, here's another thing. Khan could buy Impact. This is the best news ever that NXT moved the Tuesdays. Khan buys Impact, and then he signs all these people to contracts, which once again, this is now you're over 200 people.
And how many shows and what are you doing and how can Khan write all these? I know he's a brilliant.
Well, they didn't need writers. I wanted to mention that before. What happened to the days when equal pay and no one's gonna, and we don't need writers or agents or anything.
We keep score around here. It's about wins and losses.
Yeah, but I'm keeping score about what they said too, that there was no writers needed.
No writers needed. But speaking with TV insider Christian Cage noted that he'd been impressed with some of AEW's homegrown talent. He says MJF gets it and understands what he's trying to convey at all times. He's got that poise and confidence. It's hard to teach. He just has it. I looked at Darby Allin, who has that cool factor about him, that Jeff Hardy feel where people want to gravitate to him. It would be interesting to get that newer Jeff Hardy type feud against Darby. So, before we even start business, we're talking about the outsider going, I want a cool guy feud. Well, how about you just show us and don't tell us? Like, these are veterans stooging off the business of, I can't wait to get into a feud that's phony. So let me tell you about it in reality where I'm talking to you now. But then when you watch it, know that it's phony and we concocted the whole thing.
They need to stop doing these interviews. These interviews need to be on the TV show. You have 3 to 4 to 8 shows coming. Why don't you do this sit down interview or this radio interview or something within the brand? Does anybody really read these or read these articles? They're these press junkets, like where what was the line? I know there's probably plenty of them where what was last week? Oh, Natty, how everybody has to get along, but we're all competitive, but we all are a sisterhood. And I was like, my brain just hurt from that oxymoron. But Christian, yeah, like I really want to have fake matches with this guy and do this and do this. Why not just say this week I really want to match with this guy and start naming names on the show? I really hope he's not Christian with his concussion history is not, to some degree, obviously you want to prove yourself, see if you can still do it, see if you can still perform at a high level. But in his case, I really hope he's just taking the money and he's going to protect his body.
I mean, what is it? The workhorse thing. It was same with Sting. His Sting, same exact thing. He stands right there in the middle 11 weeks in a row, starts to cut a promo and gets interrupted. This has happened 11 weeks in a row.
Yeah. That's not such a bad thing from the Sting promos that you've told me about.
Yeah.
So here's another thing right here. I was considered a workhorse when I worked with Raven as a tag team. Raven was way more over. I was considered a workhorse when I was doing the work, to put other guys over. They were way more over and made way more money. To say you're a workhorse is cool and everything, but I'd rather be the Ultimate Warrior and make millions and millions of dollars than be the workhorse that works with the guy that draws the money.
Sure.
Even though that was the guy I was, and that's the place I had. When you say workhorse, it means you're working hard, not smart. That's as a worker. I don't know if fans see that.
I think of work, and I don't know about not working. Well, maybe not working smart because they're kicking the shit out of each other for no reason. Sheamus, to me, is the definition of a workhorse, a guy who will do business, knows that he's in the main event, will put his body on the line, take fucking mad shoot shots to make the violence look real, and then come away with no title, no clout, but he did good business for the company. That's what but
this is a guy who had spinal stenosis. He was diagnosed with so he's not necessarily. I'm looking at it from a different lens when I'm in it. If like I said I just actually said to my wife yesterday, because we were talking about her upcoming opportunity possibly. I said, I'm the guy that told you I would go back on the road for full time 2 years just to get the money to hopefully set us up for life. That's a stupid thing to say because a lot can happen physically in those 2 years to a guy that's almost 50. Now, here's the thing. If I said I'm here to outwork everyone, corner where if you're not wrestling every week, you're not outworking everyone.
He didn't even know that was on the t-shirt.
Well, that's irresponsible on them. And I'm sure he was like, what do you mean outwork everyone? I'm not even on a full-time deal. Now, he could be a heel.
These are few and far between, or should you heal up, take the check, and look at all of your possible Hollywood or, other outside interests? That's, again, in my opinion, being a mark for wrestling after working 12 years to get there. Creative might not have anything for you. Well, take the check and sit at home while you fucking work on other things and master plan. It doesn't seem like there's movies or a telenovela or whatever lined up. It's like he gets to go back and wrestle, which all seasoned vets are excited about.
Well, those beach vacations on Instagram cost a lot of money. So like
True.
it's the 90-day pay or whatever. It's very odd that they didn't hold him for 90 days. And that could have been, let's repeat what might not be a conspiracy theory from what we've learned up until Monday night with Charlotte.
Hold on one second. Is everybody having some trouble with the stream?
Yeah, and they were saying it was buffering. I mean, you're fine on this end. It's got to be YouTube.
It's got to be YouTube. I haven't gotten any like low messages, or I haven't stopped at all. Have I, Stevie?
No, a little bit earlier, but not anywhere close to what they're saying in the chat.
Yeah, I haven't.
It was about 5-10 minutes ago. You kind of been for a second.
Really, I didn't get any pop-ups in StreamYard like I usually do. So
thanks, you THX YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I can only have 3 fucking Spectrum vans outside the compound at one time, get them security passes and have them rewire everything. Past that, I've done what I can do.
He said you're back.
Okay.
So tell us about the, well, it's not such a conspiracy theory, but the Andrade Charlotte WWE kind of like backdoor deal that ended up with a COVID diagnosis.
Yeah, we'll keep going. Charlotte Flair reveals she tested positive for COVID-19. Wink, wink. Rumors have been running rampant regarding Charlotte Flair's status since Andrade was granted his WWE release on Sunday night. The former women's champ, who's Andrade's real-life fiance, hasn't appeared on WWE TV since March 15th episode of Monday Night Raw. In an update, Flair clarified her status on Twitter Monday night by revealing she's tested positive for COVID-19, is recovering at home. I don't believe that at all. To back the truck up, I think Vince, I don't support blondes with pepper bellies. And he didn't want Charlotte to be known that she's taken with Andrade. And especially a guy who probably Vince looks like, well, I've got 6 of those in luchas. I don't need that. When he looks at her as obviously who she is through nepotism and Ric Flair and the money that's on her, for her to be with somebody takes away from the value of her being wanted by men, because you don't look at her as single and unattainable and a goddess. You look at her as, oh, she's with Andrade on the side and she's attainable, and takes away from that. So I think that really fucks with Vince's head big time. And from that, Andrade's marginalized. Charlotte pitches because she doesn't really have anything, a whole, I'm sure, probably good storyline between them. But to show power that they're not going to give into that relationship, they fucking shoot that down. So she's hot about that. Meanwhile, she was also in this stupid angle with Ric Flair and Lacey Evans, where Rick is robbing the cradle with her supposedly, but then Lacey fucks that up. I don't say fucks it up, but gets pregnant, and that whole storyline is trash anyway. So now Rick, who they were just giving a paycheck to because of his life choices that have bankrupted him with 4 alimonies and alcoholism and frivolous spending on Rolexes and other stuff.
Got that Flex Pro deal.
Oh, he's good. That's out the window. So now here's Charlotte, one of our top women champions, who's got heat on her because of her relationship. Now what they were even trying to do with the wrestle crap angles out the window, and there's nothing for her going into WrestleMania. So he asked for his release. They say, no, he didn't. He says, fuck you. Yes, I did. That embarrasses them further. They grant his release. Charlotte's on the WrestleMania poster. 2 days later, Charlotte's got COVID and is not on the WrestleMania poster. Oh, also, by the way, they go down to Dominican Republic, where he posts a fucking selfie on his Instagram where I did ask for my release, WWE, while Charlotte's giving him a blowjob on a fucking lounge chair, it looks like. So just really classy play from everybody to maintain their superstar status. And now everybody got what they want. And there's heat on them. And I believe Charlotte being off the poster and claiming she has COVID is damage control to try and save face from anybody having to ask any questions. That's just an easy out to fucking silence them. How did I do? I miss anything?
You didn't miss anything. No, you missed the Flair's Flex Pro code, Flex Pro meals, because you definitely that's a sign of health. That's the way you look. Yes. Dude, if you saw that commercial, I feel bad because Flair can sell anything. I mean, he has a lot of different commercials, but they let him go on a long time. He's like looking and it could have been done in a minute and he could nail it. And he's they have like power treats named after him with different flavors, which is cool. Hey, Flair's a guy that can do business, that can do certain things, but we talked about it on Russo and we talked about it here. There's a way to handle Ric Flair in his last years, either of his career, his on TV life, or his real life in general. And this is not the play. Flair is a person that you want to like and you want to cheer for to a certain extent. This is they did an ESPN 30 for 30 on him, right? This is the WWE 30 for 30, the real redemption story to give Ric Flair any kind of send-off, or even if he's just somebody that wants to remain an ambassador after the TV appearances. But he's definitely somebody that, I mean, I still say, no matter what he looks like or whatever physical condition or how crazy he comes off sometimes with his facial expressions, when Ric Flair grabs a microphone and starts speaking, I am not changing the channel.
He's captivating. I mean,
why how you can't make money with that?
That's these ribs, these inside ribs constantly, or coming back to Orton to get into his face. And we know that's not the way it is. Just insultingly bad creative instead of using people to their full potential, And if anything, he should show up on AEW to fucking anoint this new team with MJF and those guys with Tully and them with him.
Yeah, the Horsemen pass the torch.
But
I don't think he wants to do that at this point because he has told the story about Vince bailing him out of trouble with the IRS, bailing him out numerous times in financial things. And I give it to him for that. I mean, he has gone to TNA and then back after his retirement match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. But maybe he learned his lesson and he realizes Vince does have a certain loyalty to certain guys and does help. And he is charitable to some degree. We always make fun of him and we always do master shoot on him. Mm-hmm. But there are people that he does things for that are never publicized. Shannon Moore's an example about the rehab, and now Shannon's helping people out at a recovery center in Tampa, I believe. So there's plenty that he does. And Flair, I think, is the ultimate example of constantly helping out certain talents at their roughest times.
I agree. There's plenty of that, but it does that pay back for all of the dirt, all of the short sells on stuff.
No, I'm not saying that, but that could be the reason why Flair won't go to AEW and do the Horseman thing.
I think he'd jump in a heartbeat for the money, bro. I think he'd jump. It's the same as waking up out of your death coma and in your hospital telling born again Christian Shawn Michaels to fuck off and that he's a piece of shit. Like, this is the level that these guys are really operating at. I take all of their noble edge effect gestures as them trying to right karma for massive wrongs of covering up Snuka murders or whatever the fuck you want it to be. Andrade, let's see, Aleister Black comments on Andrade's release. Andrade responds, Aleister says, Andrade goes synonymous with my WWE career. Aleister Black tweets that my first opponent and opponent I won the belt from start to finish, a total pro, in my opinion. Few have his footwork, ability to commit and execute in-ring techniques. Amigo, thank you for everything. Andrade responds, claiming they'd meet again in the ring in a few years, referring to Black by his pre-WWE ring name, Tommy End. Well, I don't think it's going to take a couple years. Zelina Vega fired for even tweeting about unionizing and talking about it and bringing the conversation up, and her husband and don't forget their awesome YouTube channel where they blew off all of the Satanism and dark Aleister Crowleyism by going to Hobby Lobby and then showing all of their 17 cats that they have in the house. Really a great way.
Stop right there.
Well,
yeah. First of all, I don't have a problem with that. And also, I want to thank the A to Z YouTube channel for introducing me to BattleBox, because I didn't know they existed, and now I get a BattleBox every month. Let BattleBox know that I sent you. There's no code, but if you let them know, they'll continue to send me a knife collection that Biden will eventually take from me, but I'll put it upstairs.
But yeah, dude, Aleister Black. Do you think this is the right move to fucking you're silenced, but you're gonna come out of the woodwork and everybody's watching to say a little shit about how awesome Andrade was when you've already got a ton of heat on you? And do you want to keep your contract, or is this a way to like put more heat on me and maybe they'll let me go too? But the reality is oh, he wants to try that. We're not letting him out. He'll stick around too.
This is part of the sickness, and I guess it's a generational thing, because I know Aleister Black is younger than both of us. Why couldn't you just pick up the phone and text or call and say, hey, man, you were really one of the best. Don't let them get you down, blah, blah, blah. I really enjoyed working with you. We'll work together again someday. What is this thing about tweeting or Facebook posting and commenting when someone is sitting right next to you, or someone that you have?
They probably live within 5 miles of each other.
But you see what I mean, though? The tweets are so passive aggressive, but you're not getting yourself over. You're just taking away further mystique that way. So speaking of taking away mystique, there is somebody that asked a question here. It's interesting, just as a little side note. Ben, did your wife or Stevie's wife know you guys from wrestling before you met them?
No, not yet. No. I met my wife number one in Louisville. I was working, teaching acting classes in an acting and modeling school as one of my side gigs while I was at OVW. And she was there as a model and also working as an administrator. And so she was brought into the Carney wrestling world and lived in Bardstown Forest with all of us, from the Ascension to the Mobile Homers to Silvio and Paradise Jimmy, Serena. We all lived in the same spot. So JTG, Santino Marella, that's just where it was. So no, definitely not like fans that they love wrestling. My wives hate wrestling, to be honest with you.
So. Same here. She just knew that she was a little troubled by how much I love cats. That was about the only thing that kind of scared her. And then she found out that I was a wrestler and said, with your clumsiness, you're a wrestler.
And both of our wives
tend to triple on,
be valets and get over in the business on their own, but they know all the Carney shit. They know how everything works, and they know when to play the game to back us up, but they're not in the biz. That's how smartened up they are to this kind of shit that we have to deal with. But almost every wrestling relationship I know of wrestlers marrying other wrestlers ends in tragedy. I can't name one couple that is like well adjusted and everything. I mean, you could say that about every marriage, I guess, but that it's not ending in some Carney bullshit and doesn't start off in a way that's like, okay, you're jumping into it, and then the countdown to divorce between 4 and 6 years is ticking, bro. So, and I'm not trying to say anybody specifically. I'm thinking of 6 different couples where it was like that I know of specifically, and I'm sure you know even more, Stevie.
Well, here's the thing with that. The thing I have to thank my wife about, and I'm sure your wife does it too, they live in the normal world. My wife had to kind of pull me a little bit out of the bubble to see what I needed to do in a real, brand like Stevie Richards Fitness and other things. I'm not talking about like get a real job, but just saying you're spending all your time and energy on these people that keep knocking off your pay on indie shows and keep giving you the same. I needed somebody to kind of be that person to look at it from a normal person and be like, you're You just keep falling for it, because with me, it was just like, if you work hard, you'll get paid. They'll eventually recognize the whole bait of dangling the carrot in front of you. And she's like, you know, you're really smart, you're talented, you know a lot about all this stuff. Why don't you do it for yourself and try to not rely on these people? You can still wrestle as long as you want, but I'm just telling you. Yeah, and she was right. You know, she supported me everything from, you know, when we got extra gym equipment, we're going to turn the entire apartment into a gym, because you can push that affiliate stuff. You can push fitness videos. You don't have to sneak a iPhone camera into the Planet Fitness or something and film a quick demonstration, because that's what I had to do, because people would eventually like, what are you filming? What are you doing? You got to get out of here. And it opened up a whole world of opportunity for that. So I think with the wrestling thing too, and I don't know why people in wrestling have relationships, much less get married, because the promoter, the company, we see it right now, Charlotte and Andrade, Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, all these different people, they'll split you up. Oh, Rusev and Lana. The list goes on and on. Matt Hardy and Lita, the whole thing, and all that stuff, they might not have had 100% to do with it, but they're trying to do things. The last thing I remember was Lana and Rusev Bleen split up on brands, which was something that happened when I was there. Oh, they're dating. Cool. Okay, well, let's we're gonna have a trade. Big trade. You know, they'd split them up. They do whatever they can to mess with them, or they push one and sit one at home. They'd push one and job the other out. So when they go home, it's a very, like, one person's super happy, the other person's super miserable.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do? It really is a very, and now you're double in the bubble. That's a good saying, double in the bubble, because all you have is wrestling. You're married to it. You can't get away from it. You can't escape it. You can't get out of it and see what world is out there. You said it about Natty, who's married to a great guy, TJ. But then again, she was raised in the biz. She doesn't know any other identity outside of wrestling.
And then when they got him like that, got him in the bubble, and what do? They want to take their private relationship to get back over in wrestling. Well, let's do an angle on our relationship instead of, they can't even keep that separate, bro. They can't even keep it separate.
You have to watch that, because guess what'll happen? They will make sure that your wife or husband kisses everybody else on. Oh yeah, love triangle, this and that. The Bobby Lashley Lana thing.
That
there it is right there.
Yeah.
You don't think that Vince and Bruce were sitting there going, we're gonna make this white blonde-haired girl kiss this black dude on TV and see how Rusev reacts to it? Because there's no good reaction either way, no matter what dude it is. But they did that white on black thing on purpose.
Yeah.
And they ribbed Lashley with it too, who they lost millions with it, doing that bullshit too.
They will lower the value of anyone to get these malicious fucking points across and ribs that pop 2 to 3 people.
Yeah. Look what they did the lead on the way out too.
They take care of Ric Flair, so they're good guys.
All right. We can edit that out then.
I love you, bro. Let's see. Big announcement yesterday kind of had people pissed and some workers responding. More announcements for 2021 Hall of Fame class. Great Khali and Kane both announced, but people were pumped for Kane, but then shitting on Khali, dude. And I'm just like, I don't know. Obviously the guy is, you know, something that is once in a lifetime, and he might not have the coordination, but the look and some of the things that he did, whether it was comedy or, you know, just even a choke slam. When you see a guy like that and you're running the circus, you hire him. You know, he's a draw. People want to see that. Not only is he foreign, but he's a giant. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for giants, whether it's conspiracy theory, Andre the Giant, or Big Sal. And I'm happy for Khali. And I think he's a massive star in his country that they want to open the borders to bring wrestling to. So until Triple H gets over there and, you know, buries somebody on night one because they did a DX crotch chop in the Uber and he marked for himself and changed the finish and killed Jinder Mahal's push like that. But Khali, dude, he's run his own shows over there that have drawn 40,000 1,000 people. Like, I got to give it up to him based on what he knows how to do Bollywood side, and as a police officer too, and everything he did to have a big career. Anybody shitting on Khali based on whatever because he can't deliver in the Punjabi prison, and and even that goes back to DSW, right? You had told stories of Damat hazing him and kind of killed him before he ever got started.
Yeah, he made him run into squats and all that bullshit.
So, but big shout out to Khali, man. I'm happy to see that, because a guy like that too, with giantism, you don't know how long they're going to be around health wise and things along those lines. I really hope that he cuts a 20-minute promo in English. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
And he's inducted by Nakamura.
Yeah, exactly. Nakamura and Asuka induction.
I'm sure I would hope they would have Jinder induct him, but they'll probably have the former writer, the one who was his manager, do it or something weird. I would say that who cares? Not about the Jinder thing not deserving it, and not about the Glenn thing deserving it, or any of the other stuff. It's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's whoever Vince picks. There's no less credibility or more credibility put on this. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it's going to be I'm going to prep him for the deal right there.
He's getting ready. He's getting ready to shave your personal shaver. Get my back. You're wearing a suit. I don't care. Get my back.
Probably the only reason I got booked on shows for like 6 months. Just come shave his head. Thank you, Glenn. But I will say that, it's going to be the first one in front of people potentially. That's something. I don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it.
Let me come back with another story and I'll let you go. WWE postpones Dave Bautista's Hall of Fame induction at his request. 6-time world heavyweight champion Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy star will not be able to attend this year's closed ceremony in Tampa, Florida during WrestleMania weekend. Those hoping to celebrate the Animal's incredible career aren't out of luck. However, as WWE has agreed to induct him at a later time to the WWE Universe, Batista tweeted, "Unfortunately, due to previous obligations, I'm unable to be part of the Hall of Fame this year. By my request, they've agreed to induct me at my future ceremony where I'll be able to properly thank the fans who made my career possible." I've heard that he just doesn't want to do it because there's going to be no fans in the house and wants a bigger fucking thing for whatever movie launch is probably going to coincide with that, which isn't a bad marketing play by any means, because he knows the WWE Hall of Fame is what it is.
I wish they would do something like they're kind of doing it, but on that show, The Bump, like I love the guy that knocks on the door for the Football Hall of Fame and, inducts the guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then again, they're, legitimate stats and all that stuff. It's not just Vince doing whatever. There could be something done better. The Physical Hall of Fame should really be a thing. You got enough real estate at the Performance Center to make a Physical Hall of Fame, and they could have the event there with the Hall of Fame.
It's Orlando. It's a family draw. Why is it not there? I went to Jamestown, New York, to the Comedy Hall of Fame, which is the hometown of Lucille Ball. I think is why they put it there. But it's an incredible interactive experience to walk through with costumes and George Carlin's writings and even Andy Kaufman's intergender title is there, bro. It's a phenomenal interactive experience, digital experience. There's absolutely no reason why WWE should not have the curators of that on the phone 100% going, we want that right here at NXT, identical, but WWE, dude.
Well, they had access every year with every single piece of memorabilia that you could think of throughout the Corvette with the cement and all this stuff. If that had a physical building that you could tour and look at this stuff more often, it's a money generator. And then you can do the Hall of Fame ceremony from within there with the history all around you.
Yeah. Even the monologues that people could be doing, standing by Flair's robe and in between Flair's robe and Andre's boots with Michael Cole doing something a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? Like there's all these things that they're missing backdrop wise and interactive experience wise, and just more millions and millions of dollars left on the table. I feel like you and I, even at a lower level, could get that whole project done in 18 months with the budget and getting how it fucking should be set up.
All
I
you
don't
need
know.
is space and logistics. That's all it really is, right? Just moving the stuff there and setting it up, and have an architect design the experience, and you walk through it kind of like testing out a roller coaster, and you hire tour guides with a script, and that's it, right?
Oh, bro, not you don't even need you can have the tour guides, or you can have the things that go right to your phone, and you get that your earbuds and you walk through and do an
Kind of like the
interactive
Captain
tour.
America thing when you walk through and it lights up and the voice automatically comes
All
on.
that, all that shit, dude, is right there. Download our app right now, WWE Hall of Fame Museum, and boom, and now you have the full interactive experience of how you want it. You can even choose, do you want Stevie Richards to be your guide? Would you like Ric Flair to be your guide?
I think I know what people would say. Hide your wives. Not with me, with Flair.
I'm going to skip that story. Shout out Ethan Page. I don't mean to besmirch why you went to AEW over WWE, but it's whatever. Shout out. Just watch Ethan Page. He's good. The WWE's current residency at Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida is coming to an end shortly after WrestleMania 37. The company announced today that their award-winning Thunderdome will be moved to a new residency at the Yingling Center on the campus of University of South Florida, beginning with April 12th edition of Monday Night Raw, while currently plans to have upwards of 25,000 fans in attendance at each night of WrestleMania that weekend. It will appear that their programming and other pay-per-view events will remain fan-less for a foreseeable future. And a WWE official confirmed that Raw and SmackDown TV tapings at Thunderdome will continue to take place on closed sets with only essential personnel in attendance. So even after WrestleMania, no crowds, bro, back in the Thunderdome, and they're moving it to USF. My parents just got back from Florida yesterday, and my uncle is setting up WrestleMania right now, and he's like, you should have him come down here. We could use him we got to take down the whole Thunderdome and go reset it all up. I was like, fuck that, bro. How much an hour? You know, you're talking, but that's you know, I got the inside scoop on that too. So, but no fans post Mania. So are we really just doing oh, there you go with the dollar bill, bread and circuses on the fishing pole here, you know, giving you back 20% and you get that little hope spot. But meanwhile, if you go out and bienvenido a Miami after 8 p.m. on the beach, we will arrest your ass. What is going on with this, man?
I don't really know. I figured Florida would be the place that they could start running shows. I mean, Khan has the weekly TV with some fans. I think Vince is opposed or scared that he doesn't like a house that's not full. It could be a company move. You can fill up LED screens and make the house look full. Now you can pipe in the crowd reactions you want. The crowd can't hijack the show. In anything, Vince is looking, I think, at it like, I have 100% control over this product, and I can push who I want, I can bury who I want, and I can control the reactions they get.
I mean, the Thunderdome thing has been working to some degree, but now the ridiculousness of it, of this or pumping in Braun's train sound when he does.
Oh, that we never even talked about it on the Raw SmackDown. I was like, what what's the, you know, I thought something happened to the audio, like the TNT went to the basketball game. But I was like, they just played a fucking train sound when he did it. Oh my God. That proves right there. I think that backs it up. I really do believe it. And the Society Review said Florida's been open since last July. They could have had fans months ago. They really could have had that. What is going on? I really do believe Vince is looking like
it's all
he can cut pay, not bonus. Nobody gets over. Good.
You don't go from we're not saying COVID, we're saying difficult times, to a full get vaccinated PSA if you didn't, dude. CIA's plugged in, deep states plugged in, CDC's plugged in, WHO. It's all a big fucking theater, bro. And they're using it completely as a power play. But apparently that's just for the WrestleMania and how they want to play, because they would have them back otherwise. there's no reason to not have them. So that is whoever's controlling Vince at the 90th degree Mason level. That's the power players on this. There's no other explanation for it except for that.
All right, so let me make a more of a speculation and not a prediction, but I feel like it might be a prediction that they will set up vaccination stations at WrestleMania weekend. When you come in, you can get vaccinated on your way in for free. Also, you get vaccinated, you get like a year of the WWE network for free. You get something for free, or you get to come to Raw and SmackDown free for the rest of the year if you get vaccinated.
Sponsored by Krispy Kreme. We'll pay your ticket. There you go. You go to StevieRichardsFitness.com, use the promo code VAX, and I probably won't save anything, but you'll make us laugh.
Sure.
Our final story of the day, Stevie. Are you ready?
I'm changing this.
Rip 5.
Rest in peace.
Yep. We'll bury you 5 feet below the ground if you use the promo code RIP5. Our final story of the day, Stevie. Cody and Brandi, Rhodes.
Could you have one more story real quick on the vaccine thing? Goldilocks called into the Horseman last night, going through all the fucking stupid masks.
After that, she got kicked out after that.
Yeah, I saw it. She got kicked out after that. But she talked about 2 of the talents in wrestling that are currently working and I guess they were on TV or they're working shows, and they were completely out of commission after getting the vaccine. They were pretty much out. They couldn't work. They were bedridden, essentially. Everything was just, they were fucked up from the vaccine. And these are young, probably strong guys or girls or whatever that are in shape, work out, eat right, do all that stuff. And this thing took them right out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, we could.
Then Goldie was mask shamed by a group of Christians in a church doing Christian rock because she took down her mask to hit her asthma inhaler. And, somebody, let you see what she did. Judge not lest thou be judged. Do I have that? No.
Yeah, treat others how you want to be treated, all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
the golden calf roll.
Oh yeah. Cody and Brandi Rhodes reality series announced. Hey guys, go subscribe to Goldilocks as well. There's going to be tons of red hot shoots this week on her Patreon, no doubt about it. But tonight, AEW's Dynamite saw an advertisement for Rhodes to the Top, a new reality TV series starring the AEW power couple. The announcement trailer showcased the Rhodes' home lives as well as backstage shots of Tony Khan producing MJF chatting. The unscripted series is set to take viewers behind the scenes of AEW. In a press release sent to WrestleStink, AEW noted that the series will contain 30-minute episodes that will take viewers inside the lives of Cody and Brandi as they navigate their growing family while building AEW's global wrestling empire. The new series received the stamp of approval from numerous TNT television executives, including Eric Bischoff. I've witnessed firsthand the passion and dedication that Cody and Brandi put into every facet of their life and know how much that plays an instrumental role of the success of the expansion of AEW, said Sam Linsky, co-head of scripted for TBS, TNT, and True TV. Now the world will get an inside look at their balance, their personal wrestling careers, their training center, and their executive roles at AEW as they venture into one of the most intimidating chapters of their lives, parenthood. AEW fans know Brandi and Cody inside the ring, and Rhodes on top will peel back the curtain of their lives off the mat. Corey Henson, EVP, head of unscripted for TNT, TBS, and True TV, running a business together as the stars of Dynamite, juggling family, friends, and introducing a new baby into the Rhodes dynasty is sure to be a wild ride. You can see it all coming soon to TNT drama as well. So, I can't hate on them for diversifying, but how much can you do? The big top show, heels, this AEW Dynamite. I'm looking forward to the episode when he gets his neck tattoo removed. That'll be a good one. Autobots assemble, Stevie. Yeah, we're cashing in the same way that it's Undertaker and his wife selling it all out, and it's just the full C+ Hollywood pour out experience of your family, private life, for a profit, same as Kardashians. Until we're sick of them, and then we want to tear them back down. It's the America, build them up, tear them back down to stand over them, and I guess they'll be laughing all the way, laying on their piles of money at night when their daughter gets to be fucking AEW women's champion at age 11, like Blue Ivy did when she won a Grammy this fucking past week.
Well, I'll put your question. Do you think they're going to last 11 more years? Well, here's the thing of being a little tone deaf and having lack of awareness where everybody tells you everything is great and everybody's your best friend when you're on top. You have nobody telling you that you're coming off unlikable on TV. Do you think that's the problem with Brandi? That she comes off in certain ways and switches around, but people are telling her, and then this reality show where you get the wrong producer or maybe the right producer, that's going to paint her in the more interesting light, which basically, who do you talk about? You don't talk about the likable people on reality shows. You talk about the unlikable ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that she will, and she's not an unlikable girl at all or anything, but people change to an extent. You don't think they change for the better, but would you agree with this kind of power and this kind of echo chamber? Would you agree that they can change temporarily for the worse?
Oh, I mean, they already have. If she is supposed to be the chief branding officer and have AEW's best interest in mind, you're not going to be in a scene throwing water in Shaq's face while you're trying to play a marketing expert. You're not going to be cutting women's hair off and tagging with a knife and going, we're the nightmare, this and that, and I'm a creepy witch, but now I'm a sexy ghetto bitch who you don't fucks with my man, but I'm supposed to be an educated woman going into motherhood.
You don't fucks with my man.
Yeah, but at the same time, come on heels onto my cooking show in my kitchen so I can show our new Atlanta house off and show you exactly how we're flossing and living out here, y'all, in the fucking fake Hollywood lifestyle where we make 1/50th of what the Kardashians make, but perception's reality. Like, how many of these fake personas are you going to put out there of what you really are? But now this is my real persona. So I look forward to seeing her being a Nigerian princess living in Atlanta. That's going to be a great series.
This is the real me.
This is the real me.
Are you still waiting for the day that I actually have that picture on Instagram of me leaning against my paid off 2006 Honda Accord? It's an EX, by the way. EXL, I got leather. Damn, I didn't even realize that. So with my $5.99 32 degrees cool shirt, with my $5 32 degrees shorts, soccer shorts, and my $6 Goodwill sneakers. And I do what they do. I tag all the brands.
Yeah.
That, and I just do that thing, and then I put a Bible verse under that.
I'd also like to see you show up at their house to deliver some Grubhub stuff just because you're like, I had some time. I figured I'd pick up the extra cash.
Which I would absolutely do. I thought about doing shit like that.
No, you would.
They would look at me like I'm so... Dude, I told you the story. It's so funny when someone saw me get out of my car. I'm not a car guy. I don't care. I don't even drive much anymore because I have the home gym. But it's always been a gym car. Everything I've had always had gym equipment in it or something. And I live very modestly and minimalistically because I like my money to be in the bank and be invested and be doing things. And you're aware of my situation. And then it's just not, it's a game to me to try to live on less each and every year. So the money goes. And obviously for people like you and people I care about, if it's ever needed, I would do what I can to help out. Mm-hmm. But, I'm by no means rich, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, when people see me out there, whenever I go out food shopping or I get recognized or whatever, one person was just like, wow, man, are you doing okay? Like, because I wasn't driving a Mercedes or BMW or, the G-Wagon or something. There's such a mental.
How about that when she posed with her new G-Wagon, like had to stunt?
I didn't see that one. You follow her more than I do.
That was about 8 months ago, or beginning.
So all I'm saying is that, like, I'm not saying you have to be like me or be like, I enjoy things. I buy technology that when I need it to invest back in, or I might buy gym equipment that I need that I don't get through, certain channels.
Making you money though. That is making you money in what you do.
I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, except for the fact of there really is a message that needs to be sent that could be much better and more positive and more meaningful through social media. Besides what you're saying, I'm posing with a G-Wagon, I'm doing this and that. Why don't you show us how you're really working behind the scenes, or doing other things to show that, like, hey man, it's not easy, and I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes, but I try my best every day. Wouldn't that mean a lot more than just saying, hey, I give our company an A+ the first year?
Yeah, an A rating right out of the gate, man, for sure.
I don't know. I'm wired a little differently, and this is why in wrestling I never got a lot of pushes either, because I wouldn't project that I was making a lot of money, and my answer would be, you're not paying me a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But you still have to look like you're getting a lot of money. Then pay me a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Is this the
and AEW? If they did, I still wouldn't pay for. I wouldn't buy this.
Is this the AEW being just so oblivious to what they look like and who they are outside of it? Or is Cody and her, as soon as the door closes, laughing all the way to the bank, figuring out the next quick scheme to, like, use all these open doors that we have right now at TNT to get our stuff, get that, there, or the other, and then it's all in front of everybody else? Or they really believe in this fucking hype?
Maybe not at first, but like I said, when you're in that echo chamber and everybody's telling you how great you are and patting you on your back, and it feels good, it becomes like a drug.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, after a while, I think they do go, this will never end, and we're here, and we're so over, and Tony Khan loves us, not knowing that if Daddy pulls the plug, if Tony goes back to the Jaguars and the soccer team, and you're living on a huge lifestyle.
Well, he goes back to WWE. That's the thing. I think they know they'll be all right because of what they did. They can always go back to Vince and for whatever it is, but though they're trying to cash in as much as they can right now. The Cody I know, when he was a kid, and humble enough and a nice enough guy, I don't think that he believes like that he really is this, that, or the other. I think he knows that it's short term, and especially if Omega and those guys are checked out because of all the bullshit, I think he's smart too to cash in on it all. So I can't hate on him getting his money, but I see this rocket going up and landing like a bad Tesla experiment.
Well, if you're willing to go and every bit of the part of this experience where you're being pumped up and all that stuff, be prepared to be, we're one big family. Welcome back. And then Hunter and Stephanie are jobbing both of you out every single week on Raw and SmackDown. And if Vince is still alive, he'll get a shot at you too. Am I wrong? And you're so far up here.
You think Triple H is ever going to let that go? And he smashed the fucking throne that first week?
No, that's what I'm saying. They will pay you a lot of money for your misery if you're okay with that. But the emotional high that you're on, where everybody's telling you how great you are, and then you go and you're not even making the kickoff show on every pay-per-view, but you're getting paid $1 million a year. It's worth every penny for them to make you depressed and make you like miserable in that way.
That's when that comes, though, they'll play that game. So 17, 18-year-old young baby Rhodes on the way down the 2 decades from now will then be your next Charlotte Flair. You're going to have Brandi and Cody in your life.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Very long time.
What if this happens sooner than maybe predicted? But then WWE finally comes back around and says to Vince Russo, we need help. And then Cody's trying to glad hand with Vince Russo after calling him the names he accused him of being, but apologized to his son to tell your dad I said I'm sorry.
And it's already out of his mind, thinks that fixed everything.
Oh, okay.
If
Not
anything,
to be vindictive.
you want content for the show, for the reality show, that's the show. Cody being the man he should be and opening that dialogue, show DDP yoga behind the scenes, show Will having to go
I don't
to
know if you want to show that. Lots of power washing.
It'll be a clean show. But y'all, Stevie, Thunderdome's moving and Cody on another
now,
show.
do they have to move the Thunderdome from Raymond James Stadium to the new location or the Rays Stadium between Sunday and Monday, or are they going to do Raw and SmackDown at the stadium?
I don't know. I'd have to.
Because usually they keep the ring in there for the 2 TVs after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's that week right after, but I think the week after Mania, their time there at that stadium's up, so it's probably getting moved. They're going to do the WrestleMania show, and while that's set up, as soon as all that's set up, those guys are moving that over to there to set up while it's going on.
Do you think we're going to get this again at the Performance Center?
I just don't know how they're going to get Monday ready to go post WrestleMania.
Oh, they might go to the Performance Center because NXT has the screen set up. So are we going to get the plexiglass guy back? An eye for an eye.
Plexiglass. I like to call that guy Plexiglass Burris. So
don't go to a club with your gun. Dude, that was the fight. Dude, imagine this. We look back at the year of the pandemic and pro wrestling, and the 2 most memorable moments that wrestling has created is the guy against the plexiglass and the eye for an eye.
Oh shit, man.
Well, if they pre-tape it, someone said they might pre-tape it. That would be amazing, especially if like things go out of whack of WrestleMania and the finishes. Like ROH used to do that. They would book promos before the pay-per-view. Talking about afterwards, the guys would be all split open.
Well, they pre-taped this a year ago. That's how far ahead they are on this shit. But I gotta say, an hour and 45-minute Friday locker room, and I'm feeling good right now compared to how worn we usually are. And I needed it after yesterday, Stevie. So I thank you eternally for that, man, because it was a tough one. Some days are just great in business where it all comes in at you and you're like, wow, this is hitting on all cylinders. And then other times it's one fucking straight jab, hook, kicking the balls. And you're like, how much worse can it get today? And I was having one of those 24 hours, but I feel like I can already see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we did the same thing. I changed eye for an eye right there. Yeah, Monday started out rough at the locker room, but we go up and down, and that's about running the business with the good days and the bad days, and just pushing forward. And I just hope YouTube. I hope more that we find another platform for you where you can control the growth rather than have an account on other people. We've never been the type of people in wrestling or outside wrestling that could count on other people, because how's that working out for us?
Yeah.
Except for Russo. I will say Russo.
Nobody ever gave me shit because like here's a fucking hole, just take it. Like, because I don't know if we know what to do with it. Like, really, you're giving me this? I would usually work my ass off and more to say fuck you to everybody and show them the right way. But appreciate that. Even though this is free on YouTube, it's not free. It's free speech, free thought. Not that we ever ask for a dime, but there's no way to cheer here, off Twitch the same way. So if you want to support Hamin Media Group and get yourself something, the best way to do that is patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. The new Hustler Rip Rogers episode up there with RBV, Dr. Ted, and Timmy Baltimore talking the origins of Derby City Wrestling. I loved hearing that conversation, man, as I lived it, and to relive it again through Rip's mindset it really took me back. Great combo there. And plenty of other marketing assets and tools from Stevie and I, and how we do our business. I'm going to focus more on that, because why would I focus on platforms that want to tear us down, man? We're just going to use them as much as I can. And you guys were awesome. We were up to 64 today live here at Ben Hamin YouTube channel for the Friday Locker Room. 57 flavors right now here live. So we appreciate you guys being such loyal followers of Russo Brand, of Stevie Richards Fitness Brand. We want to stay healthy in 2021. I know a lot of people put on a lot of weight in the last year in this pandemic, and they're even though they're not feeling the best physically, they're motivated to change their lifestyle alongside Hamin Media Group members. So we're here to say, yes, you can support and try and motivate each other, because a Krispy Kreme a day and a vaccine shot ain't going to get it done, guys. Healthy mind, healthy body, and we're going to overcome every which way we can. Stevie, where else can they find you? What do you got going on, man? Where do you want to send them to?
Well, obviously they can go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. Our bands are in stock, despite all the Asian hate. We do have bands in stock in the store as well as programs. It's an inside joke. If you listen to the show, you know about the workers in the basement. Also, ForceUSA.com/Stevie and DiamondbackFitness.com/Stevie. We've had a surge in some sales in both this week and Stevie Richards Fitness. I think people think it's coming again, or maybe it's happening locally, or maybe gyms are kind of putting down some mass stuff and people are just tired of breathing in their own air and sweater and just like, I'm just going to go home and build it seems to come in bits, like waves. I guess the people just kind of say, I'm going to get ready for the summer, but I just don't want to go there to Planet Fitness or other places and be dictated to with, don't wear a mask when you're walking to the machine, but when you're on the cardio, you can take the mask off. Then when you get off, put the mask back on. Just weird stuff. But I'm glad that these affiliate codes and Stevie Richards Fitness exist for that reason. And it's really cool. This week I keep saying I'm going to do it. I think this week will be the week I do it. I've been writing it down and testing a power band workout using power bands, because I'm going to go to the beach again, do some more recon down there, see if Tony Khan, Recon, K-A-H-A-N,
Tony Khan,
Recon,
we're going to get together.
But what I'm going to do, the power washing program's free, from what I hear. So, but people have been asking about the power bands, and people have been asking about more of mass building type stuff, strength building type stuff, which this video, because it's going to be a workout video based on stuff with a program coming later this year, and it's going to be affordable, but people want this. And also they're saying, I don't have a door anchor, or I want to go outside, but I can't. I'm limited to go to a tree or a pole. You're not going to require a door anchor for this. This is all going to be based on your feet with the power band. And I'm going to film the video and then put it up on the site, sell it probably for the same price as the full body workout video, give you a bunch of free content as well, and just, do that. So hopefully people will buy it. It's just another option to do something, and also to be on the beach. And I may have my shirt off, if that matters. That might not sell any now.
Oh, that'll always get over. There's no doubt about that, man. And I feel good. I've been working hard, mixing in Muay Thai, Stevie Richards Fitness, and some Body Beast. I got my first booking for August with Big Time Wrestling coming back to Watervliet, New York at the end of August, and 2CW. I canceled those June shows and had them pushed to end of September, beginning of October. So just really want to work hard, and please join us and inspire each other to be the best we can all summer long.
Can I answer this question real quick about the power bands?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
He's asking how much resistance can we get with Stevie's power bands. I got the Lifeline bands where you can combine 3 bands on one handle. I really like the stronger handles on there. And dude, if you can pull 120 pounds in resistance, I'd say that's equivalent to almost 200 pounds, to be honest with you, the way it takes. So
okay, well, there's 2 different brands that I have. So if you go to the SRF store, you have the green bands are 50 pounds to 125. I'm telling you right now, I've used the black bands, and there's even a thinner red band that I happen to get, which with your feet and then stretching over and trying to do like overhead press or squats or even bent over rows. But Force USA, and you can go to forceusa.com/Stevie. They have the bands. They sent me bands. There's 2. There's an XXL and a triple XL, 80 to 200, 100 to 250. I have both those bands, but I'm telling you, they're not going to be in the video. But you can do that, and these bands are crazy. And I've been actually working with Dynapro to develop a bar that's like that X3 bar, but a lot more affordable. So that might be coming a little. There's a lot of stuff you and I do that we don't even tell each other sometimes because we're so busy, but we're both trying. I'm just always trying to do something, and I'm trying to take everything to the next level, just like you are, Ben. And the fact that we have stuff that we can provide for value and people can invest in our brands, it kind of tells YouTube and Twitch and all that in the end, fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's nice to have the passive income, and like GGP says, follow the money. And they know that when they sting you, it sting us. It hurts from that passive income. We're probably going to lose close to $6,000 this year based off of Twitch and YouTube. And if you want the real shoot bang bang on it. So the best way to do that is subscribe to our Patreon or go to prowrestlingtees.com/Stevie Richards/Ben Hamin. For today only, if you're listening to us live here, use the code Dynamite or Cody's new show, I guess, and save 20%. As we
real quick, Angela Andrews, just go to forceusa.com. They have an in-stock page. And there's a few things in stock right now. If you want to email me directly, email me, StevieRichardsFitness@gmail.com, and I'll try to help you out with some stock. Sorry.
20% till 1 p.m. So if you want to save some cash on some of our shirts, we appreciate it. If you're not, I know times are tough. You might not have got your stimmy yet. Not sweating it, you guys. We don't beg for anything here. We just want to provide you with the best value content and real talk to try and preserve our industry, rib on it, and shed the light on things that need to be shown. So great talk at the top of the show, you guys, today, and great talk in the chat room. And as always, lifted my spirits to be with the one Stevie Christ here, putting the blessings on you all, infidels. Go out, bump hard, tuck your chin, and have a great match here on the Friday Locker Room. Yalla. 33% free, more Brosters at thebrosters.com. Russo Bro Coffee. Yalla.